Hey team, happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are off to a great week and just enjoying yourselves and seeing movement in your business. We do have a team call tonight, so you'll see my face tonight, but we have a really good guest speaker, and so I wanted to give her more time. But there were 4 things I wanted to be sure to touch on this week and not wait until next week. Just things that I've seen, I've noticed, and questions and common themes that I've been asked throughout the last week with new coaches and coaches just trying to take that next step in their business. So the first thing, as you know, you're striving to hit Success Club and trying to reach people, your posts are great, but the timing of the posts on some of these that I'm seeing are not the right times to be posting. 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday is not a great time to post a challenge group post. Sunday at noon, not a great time for a challenge group post. Friday night, Saturday night, not a good time for a challenge group or coaching post or something that you want people to see. When you want someone to see this post or a call to action or a point that you want to get across or a message you want to get across, you want to make sure you're posting it at optimal traffic time for Facebook. There are certain times that are just kind of dead times. And Friday night, people are on there, but they're just scrolling. They're not really looking for a solution. Sunday nights are a great time to post in between like 8 and 10 p.m. You know, think about your niche. Like, I'm a mom. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm a mom of twins, like around 3. So my kids are going to bed around 8:30. So when the kids go to bed, my husband and I usually pop on the couch, watch some TV. Maybe we'll clean up the house. But I'm usually scrolling Facebook. I'm checking it on Facebook, and I'm on there between 9 and 10. I'm not on there between 6 and 8 because that's when I'm doing baths and I'm doing dinner. So it's really not a great time for me to post if I want to try and reach my niche, because my niche is probably doing the exact same thing that I am. But on Monday nights, when The Bachelor's on, my niche is scrolling through Facebook. On Thursday nights when it's Grey's Anatomy and TGIT TV, my niche is on. So those are 2 great nights for me to post about my challenge groups and opportunities coming up, because I know that my niche is probably going to be on Facebook. So think about your niche and when you primarily are on Facebook, because that's when your niche is going to be. So let's say you're trying to cultivate this post because you're like, well, at 8 o'clock, like, I can't just hurry up and get something on there like I'm, dealing with the kids. That's okay. Take the time at 2 p.m. when you do have your work hours or the kids are napping for a moment or whatever, and just write it in your notes section of your phone. And then that way, 8 o'clock, you can copy, paste, and attach the picture that you've already created, and you're good to go. If you have a like page, you can create a draft, and you can already create that draft right on your like page. And then all you have to do is go back in and say publish now. Or you can take it one step further and you can schedule it out. Sometimes I do this for a challenge group post if I know that I'm just not, like on Thursday night, we have a women's church event. So I know I'm not going to be able to whip my phone out at 8:30 tomorrow night. But I can put a draft together. I can get it all set up, and I can whip my phone out and just push publish now so that it's still publishing in real time and I'm not scheduling ahead of time. But that way I can schedule it, and if for some reason I get caught up, that post will still go out, and then it's just my job to go back later and maybe, interact on it or boost it or tag myself and tag Matthew in it a little bit later. So make sure the timing of your post is relevant to your niche. Don't just say, oh, I got to get a challenge group post up. I'm going to do it Wednesday at 2 o'clock. That's not a prime time. You're not going to get any responses. So make sure you're paying attention to when those posts go, because that's super important towards your business. The second thing I want to talk to you about is engaging and reaching out. And this is kind of twofold. So for you as a coach, our job is to reach out to people. And if you're sitting here just waiting for people to reach out to you, you're going to be waiting a really long time. I'm just now at a point where I probably get people reaching out to me 2 or 3 times a week saying, I'm ready to start coaching. Can you give me some more information? Or I'm ready for a challenge pack. Can you give me some more information? That doesn't mean they're purchasing right away, but I'm just now at the point in my business where people are coming to me. But it's only because I've set that tone for my business. I've stayed consistent. I've showed up and I've done what I needed to do to get to this point. So make sure that you are the one who's engaging with other people. And that means commenting on their page, liking their posts, sending them a message that just says, hey, how are you? and being the one that reaches out to people and not waiting for them to come to you, because they may not know you're a coach. They may know you're on this fitness journey, but they don't have any idea what that means, which means you're kind of doing your job of being a coach and letting people know that you're here to help them. So you need to talk more about that on your page, that you are a coach and that you're here to help people and that you're on this journey to help people. But then you also need to be reaching out and talking and connecting with people. And in that conversation, all you have to simply mention is, yeah, if they say like, oh, I've been seeing your post about fitness, all you need to say is, yeah, I just started this new journey as a coach. I was so inspired by my coach when I started my health and fitness journey, and I loved the programs and products, and I just have a really big heart for helping other moms find the confidence that I have felt. And so I'm just, doing this coaching business and, in hopes just to help other women feel confident. It just needs to be that simple. It doesn't need to be salesy. It doesn't need to be something that you're like, come join me or do this, but just telling them why you're doing it and what got you started. So making sure you're reaching out and engaging with other people. Now, the second part of this also means that when you start to feel bogged down, when you start to feel overwhelmed, when life is kind of, and we're going to talk about this tonight, when you just really feel like life is just busy and you don't know what to do, the last thing I want you to do is to retract yourself from the group, to retract yourself from me. Because so often you do that because you're afraid that you're going to disappoint your upline, or you're going to disappoint your teammates. But you're going to disappoint them by just disappearing. And I love it more so when a coach comes to me and says, hey, I'm sorry I've been MIA, but this is why. Because now I can better understand, and I can even help them through the problem that they're going through possibly. I can give them encouragement. I can give them some tips or tools. I can give them something, but I can't do that if you retract, if you take yourself out of the group atmosphere because you feel overwhelmed. So those weeks that maybe like last week, I just felt like, oh my gosh, life is just like going, and I just had time for my essentials. And I didn't have a whole lot of time for extra webinars and extra this, and I had a migraine and I had this, and I just wasn't feeling well. And, but I kept focusing on being engaged, and I kept focusing on making sure I was plugging into you guys. I kept making sure I was checking in with my success partner, because that made it so much easier to come back on Monday with a fresh new week. So make sure when you start to feel that life is kind of going, and you feel like you're going like this, like just make sure you're still connecting, and just connect with your upline and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is where I'm at. I just wanted you to know. And 9 times out of 10, your upline's going to be able to offer you some solutions and just give you some support. So you're not going through that alone. Okay. Number 3 is, if you've been in this business for a little bit, and I don't know how to say this, and I don't want to scare new coaches, but you're going to feel like you start over. You're going to have months where you're like, I have no new people. I have no one to connect with, or all of my coaches have quit, or all of my coaches are, MIA, or I don't know what's going on. They're active, but they're not working, or they were working and now they're not. It happens. It happens. There are times still that I feel like I have to completely start over with every single month with new challengers. And I have to find completely new people, because the people that I met last month just aren't there yet. Or maybe I didn't do a good enough job on connecting last month. But you're going to start over. You're going to go like, I have no idea how my business is going to happen this month, but I'm going to make it happen, and I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to do what I need to do. So I don't want you to go into that mindset you're going to have to start over every month. Don't go into that. But know that coaches are going to quit. People are going to say they're going to purchase and they're not. And it's just part of the business. It just happens. And it's nothing that you personally probably did. And if you feel that you did something, don't hesitate to reach out and say, hey, I just wanted to, you said you were going to join the challenge group, and I haven't seen you, put in your order yet. Was there something I can help you with? Did you have any more questions? Was I not clear on something? And offer your help. Reach out, engage, and ask them what's going on. But you're going to have moments in this business that you might feel like you're starting over. And what I want you to do is I want you to kind of reflect back and look at that previous four weeks, those previous 30 days. What were you doing or not doing that these people are not following through? You can't expect people to purchase challenge packs from you and to get into your challenge groups and do these programs if you're not posting about it, if you're not posting about your fitness journey or these programs or these products and what they've done for you. You can't expect people to remain active and involved on your team and on the team page if you're not active and involved and present on the team page. there are some coaches in here that I haven't heard from, and, you know, maybe I see a post or two, and, you know, I see their downline going inactive, and it's just a trickle effect. If I were to disappear and not be here, I guarantee a lot of you would feel like, well, what the heck, you know, and then your business would start to trickle, and then that business would start. So you have to be present. You have to be their leader. I'm here, but they enrolled because of you. They connected with you, not me. So make sure that you're being their leader and being present. And if you have to go on MIA, if you have to, you know, take some time away, make sure you're communicating that with your team, and make sure you're communicating that with your upline so that your upline can take people under their wing and help them grow if they need to. So make sure you're communicating, but have that mindset that you may have to feel like you're starting over sometimes. And I want you to take a second and think about why that is. What are you doing, or what are you not doing that is making you feel like you have to start over, or is making you start over? And don't feel like that's a bad thing. There are several coaches who, in these wall and 5-star and above groups, that they're like, I feel like I have to completely recreate my downline. I feel like I have to recreate my team. And it might happen. And it does happen. But they're also taking a step back to figure out, what did I do wrong and what can I do better moving forward? So the fourth thing I want to talk to you about is the if nothing else. That's kind of my mentality that I function on. If I can get nothing else done today for my business, what are my must-dos to keep my business moving forward? And this is how I survived last week and survived some months. And, you know, I wish I could give you guys so much more tools and so many more systems and implementation. And I wish I could, and I wish I could make it, you know, Team Fabulously Fit and not take from other coaches. But right now, in the stage of my life where my kids are home, 80% of the time, it's very difficult for me to do that. But I have my if nothing else, this is what I need to get done to do for the week and to do for my day. So on a day that, you know, the kids didn't nap yesterday or Monday, and I had them up, and I was like, well, what am I going to do for my business today? And so if nothing else, what I do is I make sure I get my workout in. Top priority, it's my workout. Especially with this pregnancy, it's really helping me stay mentally focused and healthy. So I get my workout in, I make sure I drink my Shakeology, and I make sure I post about both. So there's 2 posts for my day. I make sure that I'm posting on social media 2 to 3 times a day. I make sure I take that time. So I have my workout post, my Shakeology post. I do like a fun post of me and the kids when they're home, or if they're not home, I do a fun post of what I'm doing without them during my free time. And then at night, I post something motivational or funny or a recipe or something like that. But I make sure that I'm posting because I want to be present on my social media, because that's how people connect with me. So I'm making sure I'm posting, and in doing so, I'm making sure I do my workout and my Shakeology. And then my other 2 must-dos is I make sure I go through my messages. And again, I prioritize those. I go back and I kind of look through, and I can read the first few lines and see where people are going with their conversation, and I answer the most important ones first. And then I go and I add to my network. I add 3 to 5 people to my network. And if I get all that done and the kids are okay and we're going and we're happy and they're sleeping still, then I go back to my messages and I continue to answer my messages, because I like to take care of my inbox. I don't like that flooding over. I don't like that overflowing. And then if that's done, then I check in, and I check into groups, and I do a video like this, and I make sure other things are taken care of, those little extras that I need to do for my business. So if nothing else, if you can do nothing else in your business for the day, make sure you're posting on social media, and make sure you're just adding to your network, because those are things that move your business forward. And that if you do every day, there's going to be a huge impact. But if you skip those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, you're going to see the negative impact it has on your business. Okay, so I hope that helps you when life just gets busy. I know we're coming into vacation time and springtime, so new sports, new schedules, and things like that. So, you know, you kind of have that laser focus of quality hour versus quantity hour. I don't have to work a ton. I just have to make sure that when I'm working smart. So make sure you're working from a list. Make sure you're working from your to-do. Make sure you have your power of 3 or whatever you do to track your business out on your desk every single day, or your workstation, wherever you are. So that way you have that list to work off of, and you can just go check. And that's exactly what I'm going to do when I get off this call. I'm going to do my messages, add to my network, and make sure that things are organized for tonight. So I hope these tips were helpful. I hope this was a little helpful for you guys, because I'm not going to get a whole chance to talk to you tonight, and I wanted to make sure we address some of those things. So hope that helps. Hope you guys are having a great week. If you need anything, just comment below, and I'll get back to these messages tonight. See you later, guys.